In this module, we will learn the procedure, the data entry procedure into the computer software about the binomial test. Now, let me tell you, students, the binomial test is used to compare the observed distribution with that of the expected distribution. So, I will be taking a problem and then we would learn how to enter the required data relating to this problem into the statistical software. So the problem stated, it was claimed that in a statistics class, male and female students are equally represented. So the data on the gender variable was recorded. We'll have to test at 1% level of significance that the proportion of females is more than 0.6. So students, in order to tackle this problem, we would have to learn that how to enter this particular information into the statistical software, that is SPSS. So if you just look at your screen, basically when we look into the window that will be opened after we open up the SPSS, at the left bottom of the screen, you will see two information. The two buttons rather. One is the variable view and other one is the data view. So first of all, we'll be clicking on to the variable view button. So this particular window would appear before you. So onto this window, if you just look into various kind of columns starting from name, its type, then the label and values, and finally the measurement. So as far as the name of the variable is concerned, in the previous example it was being specified as gender. So students, here in row number 1, you will have to enter the gender variable. Then you would have to specify under the type column that what will be the type of this variable. So whether the data is qualitative or quantitative, its type will have to be numeric. The decimals are off to 0. Why? Because gender is a categorical variable with two possible categories, males and females. Now under the label column, we would just have to specify the name of the variable, but it is optional. The most important thing about the definition of the qualitative variable is the values column. Once you will click on to the values column, under row number 1, you can see one of the buttons which would appear here with 1, 2, 3 dots. Once you will click on to that button with the dots, this particular window would appear. This smaller window would appear. Now students, under this smaller window, which is named as value labels, you will have to define the codes you have suggested for those categories. For instance, under the value, I'll be writing down 0 and the label I have assigned to this category is male. Once I'm done with that, I will have to press the add button. So this particular information will be added to the bottom of this window. Further, the next category was female. So one code was being assigned to the female. So again, under the value, I'll be writing down 1. Then under the label, I will be writing down the female and I'll have to add it. Students, please remember, you are not supposed to enter the information after completing it. Because once we will enter the information, it will just lost. So for that matter, every time when you assign the code to the particular category, you will have to press the add button. Once you are done with the definition of male and female, the two categories, you will have to press the OK button. So that is the complete definition of the qualitative variable gender. Now students, it's not compulsory that you would have to assign 0 code to the female, male and 1 to the female. So you can take a code of 1 or 2 as well. Once we are done with that, again at the bottom of the screen, left bottom of the screen, you will see the data view window. Once you will click onto the data view window, this particular window would appear before you. So students, what you are supposed to do here, students, यहाँ पे gender variable आप देखिए इससे पहले define नहीं था, that is being defined. अब the next thing you would have to do is कि आप इसमें actually data enter करेंगे. So data जो total gender के अंदर था हमारे पास, there were 20 observations in total. So आप नोट कीजिए कि मैंने फर्स्ट जो 10 ऑब्जर्वेशंस हैं उनको मैंने 1-1 असाइन किया है. सो पहली 10 स्टूडेंट्स जो थी वो फीमेल थी और जो रिमेनिंग 10 स्टूडेंट्स थे उनको मैंने आई हैव मार्क देम, एंटर देम एज 0. सो 20 का डाटा आपने एंटर कर चुके हैं. वंस यू आर डन विद दैट, देन यू विल हैव टू follow it through a procedure. So what is the procedure now? Once you are done with the data entry, students, you will click on to the analyze option which would appear at the top of your SPSS window. Then further you will click on to the non-parametric statistics. Then we'll have to click on to the legacy dialogues. And finally, you will be choosing the option of binomial. Once you will do that, this particular window would appear. Now, under this window, the gender was appeared somewhat here. Now, what you will have to do, you will have to take it to the right hand side under the test variable list by clicking on to this arrow button. Students, अभी आपको नजर आ रहा है कि ये arrow left side पे है, but ये right side पे आपको नजर आएगा window का button, एरो बटन. सो जेंडर को आप यहां से लेके इस बटन के थ्रू यू विल टेक इट अंडर द टेस्ट वेरिएबल लिस्ट. नाउ इफ जस्ट लुक इनटू द अदर ऑप्शन, वंस यू आर डन विद दैट, आपको टेस्ट करना है प्रपोर्शन. सो अगर आपको स्टेटमेंट याद हो तो स्टेटमेंट में हमने कहा दैट वी नीड टू टेस्ट दैट वेदर द proportion of females is more than 0.6. So that means the population proportion we need to test is 0.6. So आप इस particular जगह पे आप जो proportion you need to test, you would have to enter it here. Once you are done with that, you will click on to the OK button. So this particular information would appear before you. What that information is about, इसको हम कहते हैं output window. So output window में आपके पास आपकी entire information आ जाएगी. For example, there were 10 females, there were 10 males, and the observed proportions were 0.5, but the proportion you need to test is 0.6. And finally, we are given with the one-tailed p-value for the exact test.